A very good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines of this hour. An action plan likely to be formulated today on improving farmers' incomes. Prime Minister Modi to interact with stakeholders and policymakers on the second day of Agriculture Conference in Delhi. A 7-point strategy being discussed at the meet. Income Tax Department attaches 11 bank accounts in connection with the tax evasion probe against Rotomac Pens Group. Supreme Court agrees to hear the plea seeking SIT probe into Punjab National Bank fraud case. Government asks RBI to check efficiency of systems to detect frauds. Meghalaya State Election Commission seeks additional security for Garo Hills region after militants kill an NCP candidate and 3 others. Party demands an NIA probe. Home Minister questions law and order during campaigning, while Rahul Gandhi campaigns in the state today. India test fires medium-range nuclear-capable Agni-2 missile with a strike range of more than 2,000 kilometers. It has already been inducted into the Indian Army. And the state of emergency is extended by 30 more days in Maldives after key parliamentary committee approves President Gayoom's request. Opposition MPs boycott sitting calling in constitutional. Island nation has been under emergency since 5th of February. Our top focus this afternoon is on the ongoing National Conference Agriculture 2022, doubling farmers' income in the national capital. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with stakeholders and policymakers on the second day of the conference. A 7-point strategy is being discussed by stakeholders and policymakers to identify various critical issues relating to agriculture and also find appropriate solutions to them. Here's a report.
On the advice of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a 2-day national conference, Agriculture 2022, Doubling Farmers' Income, is underway in Delhi. On day 2 of the conference today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his vision and insights on agricultural development and farmers' welfare. An action plan is likely to be formulated today on improving farmers' incomes, with the Prime Minister interacting with stakeholders and policymakers. On Monday, inaugurating the conference, Union Minister Radha Mohan Singh said that the government is keen to make agriculture policies and programs income-centric. Scientists, economists and policymakers are expected to give reports on new initiatives for the farm sector, which will be presented to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The conference is intended to build a consensus around practical solutions that will give shape to the government's vision of doubling farmers' income by 2022. The 7 focal points of the conference are agricultural policy and reforms for higher and sustained farmers' income, trade policy and export promotion, marketing, agri-logistics and agri-value system, science and technology and startups in agriculture, sustainable and equitable development and efficient delivery of services, capital investments and institutional credit for farmers, promotion of livestock and dairy, poultry and fishery as engines of growth. The government is keen to adopt suggestions from participants that will yield quick results across the agriculture sector. With inputs from Arvind Kumar Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, our senior correspondent Arvind Kumar Singh joins us from the newsroom for more on what we can expect in the day ahead. Arvindji, Prime Minister Modi will be, of course, speaking a little later. Meanwhile, talking about what this conference is, of course, aiming, one very important bit of that is that moving away from, of course, production-based, production-oriented growth, they're now going to be focusing on farmers' incomes, income-oriented growth. How do we see them achieving that?
जैसे कि अभी आपने कहा, ये बात सही है कि अभी तक की जो एग्रीकल्चर की पॉलिसीज़ थी उनका टोटल फोकस ये था स्टेट का और सेंटर का कि हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अनाज कैसे पैदा करें, और वो था भी क्योंकि फूड सिक्योरिटी और सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी की जो बात है वो ज़्यादा ज़रूरी थी। प्राइम मिनिस्टर का ये कहना है कि जिस तरह से देश के तमाम हिस्सों में जो है एग्रीकल्चर क्राइसिस दिखने लगी है, क्लाइमेट चेंज का असर दिखने लगा है, तो ज़रूरी हो गया है कि अगर फार्मर्स को ठीक से इनकम नहीं होगी उनकी, तो जो विलेजेस से रूरल एरिया से जो अर्बन एरिया के लिए लोगों का पलायन हो रहा है वो कैसे रुकेगा। तो रूरल इकोनॉमी को बूम देने के लिए इस बजट में थोड़ा सा कोशिश की गई है, लेकिन प्राइम मिनिस्टर चाहते हैं कि जो इनकम है फार्मर्स की बढ़ाने के क्या तरीके हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि जो एक्सपर्ट्स हैं कल से आज तक बात कर रहे थे, उनका ये कहना था कि केवल जो फूड ग्रेन्स है तो प्रोडक्शन केवल फूड ग्रेन्स से जो है वो किसानों की इनकम नहीं बढ़ सकती, उनको जो है एनिमल हस्बेंड्री पर, उसके साथ साथ जो है हनी भी है, इस तरह से बहुत सारे ऐसे फील्ड हैं, एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री है, उन सारी चीज़ों की तरफ कैसे स्ट्रेटजी बनाई जाए और स्टेट को लेकर के सेंटर कैसे उस तरह से काम करे, पॉलिसी लेवल पर किस तरह के चेंजेस किए जाएं, ये सारी बातें जो है इन्होंने ये पिछले कल से जो डिबेट चल रहा है अभी तक चालू है वो, और ये जो 7 जो थीम है इन पर अलग अलग एक्सपर्ट्स जो है वो पूरा उसको कंपाइल करेंगे और 4:30 बजे के करीब प्राइम मिनिस्टर आएंगे और वो 6:45 रहेंगे करीब। तो मुझे लग रहा है कि उस बीच में पीएम जब बात करेंगे तो पूरा का पूरा क्या रोड मैप होना चाहिए इस पर फोकस करेंगे जी।
और फोकस जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं अरविंद जी, यू नो ऑन द allied activities, not just on the traditional farming, a crop based, grain based, but also in the budget we saw there was focus of course on animal husbandry, there was focus on fisheries. इस तरह के जो the other allied framework as well, allied activities, sorry, इसमें भी focus होगा during this conference. Is there going to be something concrete coming out of this?
जी बिल्कुल, जैसे कि आपने कहा ये जो एक्टिविटीज़ हैं सरकार का ये मानना है कि एग्रो फॉरेस्ट्री से लेके एनिमल हस्बेंड्री ये उनकी इनकम को बढ़ाने में मददगार होगा, क्योंकि ख़ास तौर पर जो हमारी करीब 13 करोड़ जो फार्मर फैमिलीज़ हैं उनमें से हमारे पास जो है 85% ऐसे हैं जो स्मॉल और मार्जिनल हैं, और उनके लिए सबसे बड़ा क्राइसिस ये है कि वो अपनी बेसिक नीड्स को भी एग्रीकल्चर से पूरा नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। तो ज़रूरी है कि कुछ ऐसे काम करें जिसमें कम से कम इन्वेस्टमेंट हो और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा रिटर्न हो। उसमें फिशरीज हो सकती है, उसमें डेयरी सेक्टर में सरकार मदद कर रही है, एक फंड डेवलप किया है। तो इस तरह की एक्टिविटीज़ को, हनी भी है और ऐसे बहुत सारे जो कोशिशें की जा रही हैं, मशरूम कल्टीवेशन है, तो ऐसी कोशिशें सरकार कर रही है कि यहाँ, लेकिन इसके लिए ज़रूरी है कि ग्राउंड पर जो है, ग्रास रूट लेवल पर जो है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप हो, कोल्ड स्टोरेज बने, कोल्ड चेन हो। तो इन सारी चीज़ों के लिए सरकार पूरी तरह से तैयार है और कोशिशें हो रही है कि इन एक्टिविटीज़ के सहारे जो है किसानों को अधिक आय मिले जी।
Absolutely. आपने कहा है कि the communities and of course the unions, all of them are looking at this conference very keenly. We'll come back to you of course through the day for more updates on this. Arvind Kumar Singh, thank you so much for joining us on this story. Meanwhile, with the objective of discussing pending issues of water resources and interstate issues, the centre is holding a regional conference of southern states on water resources in Hyderabad. The conference is being chaired by Minister of State for Water Resources Arjun Ram Meghwal. Issues relating to implementation of the latest orders of the Supreme Court on sharing of Kaveri waters, Mullai Periyar Dam, interlinking of the rivers like Godavari, Kaveri, the Polavaram project and other interstate issues are being discussed. States participating in the conference are Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Karnataka, Kerala and Telangana, and they will be represented by the ministers, principal secretaries and engineer-in-chiefs of water resources. In more national news, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear a plea seeking an SIT probe into the Punjab National Bank scam, in which the Punjab National Bank fraud case, in which Nirav Modi and his business associate Mehul Choksi are prime suspects. The top court will take up the matter on Friday. A bench led by Chief Justice of India Deepak Mishra will be hearing the plea. Contrasting poor farmers' inability to repay agricultural loans with the recent 11,400 crore rupee PNB fraud, has sought intervention of the Supreme Court to protect the people's rights. 2 separate petitions were filed before the Apex Court yesterday, seeking its direction to the centre to initiate the process of deportation of Nirav Modi, who is abroad, and others allegedly involved in the case as soon as possible, preferably within 2 months. It also sought a probe into the role of the top management of the Punjab National Bank. Meanwhile, the government has ordered the Serious Fraud Investigation Office of the SFIO to probe around 110 companies and 10 limited liability partnerships related to Modi and Choksi. The CBI has arrested 3 more Punjab National Bank officials after intense grilling in connection with the over 11,000 crore rupee fraud. The Income Tax Department also attached 7 properties of Mehul Choksi and Geetanjali Group in Mumbai. Meanwhile, credit ratings agency Fitch has placed Punjab National Bank on the Rating Watch negative list, reflecting a possibility of downgrade following the fraud case. It said that the fraud, the biggest ever in banking history, has raised questions on both internal and external risk controls, as well as the quality of management supervision considering that the fraud went undetected for several years. Fitch Ratings has placed PNB viability rating of BB on the rating watch negative, which measures creditworthiness of a financial institution and reflects the likelihood of the entity to fail.
I think unprecedented effort has been made by the government to follow up on this issue. The number of raids, the number of the follow-up action that has been taken has been very extraordinary, and the government is doing absolutely everything possible.
And in another case, the Income Tax Department has attached 11 bank accounts in connection with the tax evasion probe case against Rotomac Pens Group. CBI raids continue at the residence of Vikram Kothari, the promoter of Rotomac Pens in Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. The CBI on Monday filed a case against Rotomac Pen promoter Vikram Kothari and his family members for allegedly swindling Bank of Baroda of 3,695 crore rupees. Bank of Baroda has alleged that Kothari, his wife Sadhana Kothari and son Rahul, along with unidentified bank officials, had committed loan fraud. The Enforcement Directorate also filed a money laundering case against Rotomac Pen's promoters. A quick break here. We'll be back with more national news in a bit. Stay with us.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
Welcome back. In more national news, Arunachal Pradesh Governor B.D. Mishra launched the Saubhagya scheme in the state on occasion of the 32nd Statehood Day celebration of the state at Itanagar today. Arunachal Pradesh Governor addressed the public on the occasion. He gave away the highest award of state Arunachal Ratna to Ashok Chakra awardee late Havildar Hangpan Dada. His widow received the award. Chief Minister Pema Khandu was also present on the occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also extended his greetings to the people of Arunachal Pradesh and also Mizoram on their statehood day. In a tweet, he conveyed his greetings to the people of Mizoram and extended his best wishes for the development journey of Mizoram. And now let's get you some election-related news. In Meghalaya, polling to the William Nagar Assembly seat has been postponed as per norm after the death of 4 people, including a Nationalist Congress Party candidate, in a blast on Sunday night. The Meghalaya Election Office has sought 10 more companies of the Central Armed Police Forces for the troubled Garo Hills region after the untoward incident. The NCP has also demanded that the probe into the killing of Jonathan N. Sangma, its candidate for the Assembly polls, be handed over to the NIA. NCP candidate Jonathan was killed on Sunday night after militants attacked his convoy in Meghalaya's East Garo Hills district. 3 others accompanying the NCP leader also died in the IED attack. Chief Minister Mukul Sangma condoled his death and assured that the incident will not disturb peace in the state. He also said that the perpetrators of the crime will be apprehended expeditiously. The Garo National Liberation Army, a proscribed militant outfit active in the state's South and East Garo Hills district, was campaigning against Jonathan.
इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया को हमने लिखित में आज दिया है कि आप जो है हमारे सभी कैंडिडेट को सुरक्षा प्रदान करें, और हमने ये भी बोला है कि इस मर्डर का जो है वो आप सीबीआई इंक्वायरी की है.
We have got the report from the district election officer, and there was a high-level meeting that was held this morning along with the police authorities. So now that report is under transmission to the Election Commission of India, and after from the end of the Election Commission, they duly examine that report. So now this report, which is under transmission to Election Commission, I'm sure they will examine, and a new date will be announced for this one constituency where death occurred of the candidate.
Well, the killing of NCP candidate Jonathan Sangma in Meghalaya has given the BJP more ammunition against the state's Congress government as campaigning enters the last stretch for the assembly elections. Several cabinet ministers and top state leaders are rallying across the state to woo the voters. RSTV's Ravindra Sharan reports.
The BJP's mission to expand base in the northeast part of the country is getting a push, with the party's top leaders spearheading the campaign in Meghalaya. The party is contesting 47 of the 60 seats in the state, hoping to unseat the Mukul Sangma government that has ruled the state for nearly a decade. The BJP is promising to turn Meghalaya into a model state that is free of corruption and also fulfill long-pending expectations of the people.
का जो मुद्दा है अभी सिर्फ और सिर्फ भ्रष्टाचार का मुद्दा पे है. Due to corruption, we don't have any development in the state, right from the road, the education, the health, the water supply, and the basic needs of the peoples also we are not getting.
The BJP recently released its vision document, which promises 2 lakh jobs for the youth, pensions for daily wage labourers and improving the health sector. The party also promises to find a solution to another long-pending issue, that of coal mining, also accusing the incumbent Congress government of large-scale corruption in the public distribution system. However, the Congress does not see the BJP as a big challenge.
But whatever we have committed in our manifesto, I think we have achieved more than 80% of our commitments. And this is normal for every party. So far, I don't see not a single BJP will win so at the most they'll win 1 seat. So how will they have our confidence?
BJP doesn't have any ground out here. मुझे तो नहीं लगता कि 1 से 2 के से ज़्यादा BJP यहाँ पे कोई ground बना सकेगा.
The BJP is leaving no stone unturned to open its account in the Meghalaya Assembly. The party's top brass, including President Amit Shah, Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Home Minister Rajnath Singh and his deputy Kiran Rijiju have been campaigning in the state. And the focus is on the centre's policies and its financial package for the region.
After the successful formation of government in 3 northeastern states, the BJP is arduously trying to woo the voters in Meghalaya also. Banking upon the image of the Prime Minister and allegations of corruption against the present Congress dispensation are the key issues BJP is going ahead with. Will the people of Meghalaya give the Saffron Party a chance to don the mantle of Chief Minister's post in northeastern hill state? Will be answered on 27th of this month. In Shillong with cameraman Saroj Kumar Das, Ravindra Singh Shoran for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Ravindra Singh Shoran is joining us now on the phone line from Shillong. Ravindra, in your story, there are a lot of reactions saying that, the BJP won't be managing to win any seats, if at all, 1 or 2. That was perhaps the, the sentiment that we were seeing across Meghalaya, at least till about last week. But this unfortunate incident of the NCP candidate being killed has given the BJP some talking points as far as law and order is concerned.
Absolutely, Tracy, what you are saying, that law and order is the main problem which has been highlighted yesterday by the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh when he was addressing the rally in the same belt where this untoward incident of Jonathan Sangma's death occurred on Sunday's night. And he has also said that unless the law and order situation can be controlled, no state can go progress. It can't do progress in any of the field. So the paramount consideration for a government is to control law and order, and a peaceful circumstances should be created for everything. Otherwise, no investor will come, and we can't boost the employment, we can't boost the economy of the state. BJP is now working very arduously in this belt. More than 6 cabinet ministers have always been deployed here, and KJ Alphonse, who has been given the in charge of election affairs here in Meghalaya. We spoke to him also. He was quite confident that this time the BJP will be able to form the government. After the successful formation of government in three northeastern states, BJP is quite confident. But the Mukul Sangma government, the Congress party, Mukul Sangma, they have been saying that they have done a lot of good work for the people of Meghalaya. And as if we compare this state from 2003 or 2008, then comparatively incidents of violence has been reduced drastically, all because of the good works which has been done by Mukul Sangma. And the Congress party is also claiming that because of their clean politics, the Congress party will be able to form government.
So both the parties, of course, claiming, that in their rule, law and order is in place or will be in place. So we'll wait and see what happens on the 27th, what people vote for. But thanks so much, Ravindra, for joining us on that story. And in fact, staying with Meghalaya and addressing rallies in the Garo Hills ahead of the assembly elections in Meghalaya, as our correspondent Ravindra pointed out, Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday attacked the Congress-led government on a range of issues, including health care and law and order. Rooting for the BJP in the northeast state, he said that the party would make Meghalaya the Scotland of the East if elected to power. Rajnath Singh said that his party would ensure proper health facilities throughout the state if it came to power. He also pointed out that the BJP government at the centre had announced a health insurance scheme to provide free treatment up to 5 lakh rupees. Home Minister Rajnath Singh also hit out at the Congress-led government in Meghalaya over the killing of an NCP candidate, saying that there's no law and order in the state. Meghalaya, remember, goes to polls on 27th of February.
मुझे लगता है कि मेघालय में कोई लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है ही नहीं, या कोई कानून और व्यवस्था का राज नहीं है, अराजकता है। और बहनों भाइयों, जिस राज्य में कानून और व्यवस्था की स्थिति ठीक नहीं रहती है, उस राज्य में कोई भी सरकार विकास नहीं कर सकती है। कि हमारी गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पर बीजेपी की गवर्नमेंट आने के बाद मेघालय विल बी ए होम ऑफ क्लाउड्स, रेनिंग डेवलपमेंट, प्रॉस्पेरिटी एंड गुड गवर्नेंस।
And Congress President Rahul Gandhi is in Meghalaya today for the party's campaign for the upcoming state assembly polls. Gandhi will hold a rally at Mingchen Gram Cultural Club playground of the North Garo district's Mendi Pathar. He will also address the people of Gorobada in West Garo Hills. Later in the day, the Congress President will visit the border security camp's helipad in Tura and is also likely to have a night stay in the region. The Congress President will visit Shillong and Jawai on the 21st of February. In another one of our headline stories, India has test-fired the medium-range nuclear-capable Agni-2 missile. It has a strike range of 2,000 kilometers. The intermediate-range ballistic missile has already been inducted into the services, and today's test was carried out by the Army's Strategic Forces Command. The state-of-the-art missile, already a part of the country's arsenal for strategic deterrence, was launched as a training exercise by the armed forces. The missile is part of the Agni series of missiles, which includes the Agni-1 with a 700-kilometer range, Agni-3 with a 3,000-kilometer range, Agni-4 and Agni-5, both having long-range capabilities. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu inaugurated the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of R.A. Podar College of Commerce and Economics in Mumbai on Monday. Addressing the students and faculty members, Vice President Naidu called for de-stress in the environment for students at homes, schools and colleges. He also said that education must mold a strong character and inculcate ethical and moral values among students. Emphasizing on the need to de-stress, Vice President Naidu also said that the issue is close to the heart of Prime Minister Modi, who has even penned a book, Exam Warriors, guiding students to deal with exam anxiety and stress. Mr. Naidu also said that education must empower and enlighten the youth, improve their analytical skills and make them explore new vistas and discover and innovate. The Vice President said that merely adding more and more buildings without providing quality as well as inclusive education will not enable the creation of New India.
उनको भी समान अवकाश देना चाहिए, अपॉर्चुनिटी देना चाहिए, और उनका भी उत्थान होना चाहिए. If you are saying strong and stable nation, strong means all limbs must be strong. If the hand is strong and leg is weak, you cannot call it a strong body. So we should think in integrated manner, and we should also feel that we are one. That's another problem, challenge now, divisions on the basis of caste, creed, sex, religion and region. Irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region, India is one. One nation, one people, one country. That should be our attitude.
The Railway Ministry has relaxed the upper age limit of employing people in various categories. In a statement, the Railways has said that in the exam for assistant loco pilots and loco pilot, the revised upper age limit for the unreserved category has been fixed at 30 years. For OBCs, it has been revised to 33 years, while for SC and ST, the age relaxation has been fixed at 35 years. For Group D exams for unreserved category, the upper age limit has been fixed at 30 years. For OBCs, it has been revised to 36, while SC and ST, the age relaxation has been fixed at 38 years. The ministry has also decided that the questions in regional languages like Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, Odia, Telugu, Bengali and others will be available for candidates to take the exam. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, met today. Among the key decisions taken is that it has approved the methodology for auction of coal mines and blocks for the sale of coal. The Jhansi, Manikpur and Bhimsen Kerar lines and Bhatni or Ornihar line doubling with the electrification projects has been approved. The CCEA also approved a 130-kilometer long Jaipur-Malkangiri new line project. And now in some quick international news update, the in-Maldives emergency has been extended by 30 more days. During a meeting of the Security Committee of the People's Majlis on Monday, approval was given to the decree for state of emergency that was submitted to the parliament by President Yamin. He had sought extension of the emergency on the grounds that the threat to national security has not diminished and the constitutional crisis has not been resolved. A total of 38 MPs voted to accept the decree and forwarded it to the National Security Committee for evaluation. However, all opposition MPs boycotted the sitting, alleging that it was held unconstitutionally. And that's it on the Midday News. Thanks for joining us.